Hi, finally I'm live. Hold on just a sec. I'm going to go post this link on the website and then I will be right back. We are going to be playing our exciting group of songs. And if you're finding this video on the web, it's at denverguitarorchestra.com is where you're going to, denverguitarorchestra.com is where you're going to pick up today's link. Control V. Oops, I still have yesterday's link on there. Bet a few people went to the wrong room. Oh well, they'll figure it out. Enter, edit, link, open, update. Let's take yesterday's link off of here. Cut, update. Okay, we'll get everything on here real quick. Give me just a second. No, one more minute and we'll get going here. I gotta fix this situation. Paste. Delete. Make this orange. So we'll be playing Row, Row, Row Your Boat, London Bridges, Jeanie with Light Brown Hair, and Lean On Me this today, all week long, 5 days in a row. We're trying a new system, and so hopefully this will help make some sense to everybody. Maybe a little easier on me, a little bit, well, not easier for me necessarily, just have a little more opportunity for you to play the same song over and over as the week goes along. All right, let's make sure this is opening up where it's supposed to. It is, and now, all right, here we go. That's it. All right, so sorry for running a little bit late. I'm in full official. I thought I had time to run downstairs. I noticed that I got new strings for my guitar today, and I ran down to get them, and I ended up, of course, running into people and blah blah blah. And then so now I'm like getting here to get started on the lesson. So apologize. We're here. Everybody's happy. Things are going to go great. Get your guitar in playing position. We'll do Row, Row, Row Your Boat first. Since it's a Tuesday, right? Is that today's Tuesday? I think we don't need to go. Well, if I say something that makes no sense, or if I gloss over something, it's probably because I covered it yesterday. But I'd like to play all 4 songs, all 4 ways, all 3 ways, I guess, and then. Again, just giving you the chance to have as many opportunities to play these songs over and over and over, so that by Friday, we've got a pretty good handle on whatever level you work on. So level 1 is Row, Row, Row Your Boat, D chord, and let's do that. Let's see, Arlo. Arlo, probably take your pre-surgery call before you take your guitar call, right? Yeah, go ahead and take care of that. Evelyn, aloha, hola. I didn't realize that the time format. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we switched. What we're doing now, we're coming in at 2:30, and I'm actually 5 minutes late, so I apologize, Evelyn. 2:30 is our regular start time now, and then we're playing all 4 songs each day. So it's half past the hour. Basically, for you, Evelyn, it's the ukulele class. Go shake it off. Get your guitar brain on, come back, and then we'll play these 4 songs. The idea here was, and I think it was actually Evelyn's idea, hey, let's play a couple of songs every day, so that maybe we don't, if we already know how to play something, maybe the next song is going to be a little more challenging. Or if we want to play the same song over and over through the week, we have that opportunity. And this way, you can use this section of time as your 30-minute practice on guitar. And I would say, hey, Vic, what I would say is the hardest part of guitar is getting sat down and playing, right? It's that 30 minutes a day. And so use this as your 30 minutes a day. Play along with me. We'll play together. We'll use it as rehearsal time or practice time, not necessarily rehearsal time, but as practice time. And we get where we just getting our hands on the guitar and playing every day. What will happen is you'll end up accidentally being a pretty good player, and you won't miss a day. Just set this up as your time to play guitar. All right, I think we got everybody in. Let's grab Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Let's grab D chord, index, middle, and ring. If you're level 1, this is plenty to keep you busy. From the top, 1, always in 6, okay? We always count, not always, usually count 6 as 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. To the top, row, row, row your boat right across the lake. Don't stand up and rock the boat, oh, that's a big mistake. One more time. Row, row, row your boat. Yeah, I blew it. Here we go. 1, 2. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Okay. What did I actually write? Don't stand up. Don't stand up or you'll rock our rowboat. Oh my. Do not stand up or you'll rock our rowboat. Oh my. That's not right. All right. Don't worry about the lyrics. Okay. So that's a D chord 3 different ways. One time I was strumming it, one time I was plucking it, one time I was arpeggiating it. I blew my arpeggios because I went 1, 2, 3, 4, and then started over on 4 rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, watching a video earlier, Alex Commodore, who's the director of classical guitar at Metro State, talking about the challenges of just playing whatever you need to play and alternating these 2 fingers. It's super challenging, super complicated, something that we all need to work on. And so in this case, we were when you're working on arpeggio patterns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's very complicated stuff. Probably even, frankly, a little bit easier than this 1, 2, 1, 2 business. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Very complicated way of playing. Once you master it, it's super efficient and super helpful and super fast. But getting these guys to do what they need to do while your mind is also busy doing this stuff over here, very complicated. Okay, let's play the guitar melody line. Again, 1, 2, and then we'll go. Okay, get your 3 on. 1, 2. Let's do it again from the top. Go. Not terribly hard once you figure out where your 10th fret is, right? And then once you figure that out, then you're like, okay, I got to get down there. I got to grab both of those 10s. And then the minute you hit this, you got to be down here because you don't want any time gap in there. So getting from 10 down to 2, and I notice I'm grabbing my middle finger here and then already get my ring finger to get on that next note. That's a very challenging section of the song. Okay, finally, tough acts. I want to play it 2 ways. I want to play through it with plucking, go through, play the whole thing plucking. Remember when you get down here to the 10s. Okay, so. That's going to be the challenging part. Okay. So we're going to pluck our way through the whole thing. Sometimes you'll use 3 fingers, sometimes you'll use 2, and sometimes you'll use all 4. Okay, like at the end of beginning of measure 4, you've got this note. Okay, so you want to use all 4. You can even roll them a little bit, okay, or just pluck them all simultaneously. Okay, then you have some decorative notes in here in that fingerstyle tradition where we're busy putting in decorative notes in between other notes that are, when you've got this moment in the song where the guitar is just ringing on its own, toss in a few decorative notes just because they sound nice. Always from the chord. I think almost always from the chord, at least, until you get to more advanced music. Okay, from the top, first time through, plucking, second time through, strumming. 1, 2. Top. Gonna ring forever. Take your hand up over the saddle, and that'll stop your strings from ringing. That's a lot, right? It's all over the place. These one chord songs are actually, in many respects, harder to play than multi-chord songs because they're only one chord, so the melody has a tendency to ride up and down this fretboard a lot. And so when you're busy down here playing, you're thinking, I got to get way up over here to get to that next thing. So plenty of things to keep you challenged on there. I would say with Row, Row, Row Your Boat, you're not really trying to master the song itself. You're trying to master the tools. And so just getting those nice, long, beautiful, lush tones underneath what you're working on is really what you're at. And you could do yourself a huge favor down the road by mastering the tonality and the precision required to make this thing work. You get that really solid with this song, and then you take it to more complex songs, then you're going to really have something. Okay? Okay, there's Row Your Boat, played 3 different ways. Let's move on to level 2. We are playing, is it London Bridges? Is that what we're working on? I forgot already. London Bridges, yep. All right, so London Bridges, again, 2 different keys. First half of the song is in the key of A. Second half of the song is in the key of C. Gives you a chance to practice 4 separate chords in their friendly chord set. So you're going to go from A, okay, to E, okay. And then when you switch pages, you're going to go from C over to G. Now, when you're strumming, when you're just singing and strumming, you don't have to use this fancy G chord if you don't want. It sounds very pretty to have those high notes here, but you can also just use your plain old regular G. The other thing I know is a few of you have been taught this G chord, which is perfectly fine as well. Middle, ring, and pinky. That one works. It leaves this finger available to help guide you back to your C chord if you want. I don't use that, but I know that a lot of teachers teach that, and it's not a mistake to teach it. It's a good idea, right? So you want to be able to do it both ways, obviously. Okay, let's sing it. Okay, we'll go through the song twice, and that'll give you a chance to do both chord sets twice. 1, 2, ready, play. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down. My fair lady. 3, 4. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down. My fair lady. Bit of the top. Bill. Let's do verse 3. Take the key and have some tea. Have some tea. Have some tea. Take the key and have some tea. My fair lady. Take the key and have some tea. Have some tea. Have some again, A chord turns into E chord and back. A and E are friends, and also C chord and G chord are friends. So you want to just spend as much time as necessary to get your hands and your left hand where it's doing what it needs to do. Okay, let's play the melody, guitar melody. You've got some twos, so your middle finger's here. You've got some threes, ring finger there. And if I remember right, that's it, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Page 2, you've got, when we go to the C, we now all of a sudden have some ones and some fives and some threes. So you're a little bit spread out there. Generally speaking, the rule is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then since 5 only shows up a couple of times, we will stretch down to get the 5. Common practice might tell you, hey, go down and play your 5 with your 1. That's too much motion, right? So just try to stretch out to get your 5 there. I think you'll do better. Okay, from the top, we'll play through it twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Page 2. The top. I'm getting some harmonic resonance out of my guitar. It's always delightful when you hear that. You're busy playing one thing, and then and you start hearing this sort of beep coming in from inside of your guitar, and that means the other strings are trying to sympathetically resonate with whatever you're happening, whatever you're doing at that time, and it leads you to that next discussion that upper level guitar players have is how do you make the other strings not ring, right? We're so busy trying to get the exact right tones out of them that sometimes we can ignore the fact that the rest of the strings are also trying to help out, and you sometimes don't want them to help out. You get that weird sort of going on in the background, and so that's kind of fun to hear that happening and be thinking about, what would I do about that if I had to get them to stop? Vicky says they're both hard changes. Yeah, right. Here's the thing, guys. Everything in guitar is hard. Everything. I don't care. You be playing Fairy Shotgun, Mary Had a Little Lamb, whatever. It doesn't matter. All this stuff is challenging, right? At first, okay. And then you have to decide, hey, what tools do I want to really master? What's going to serve me the best as I'm moving forward as a guitarist? And I think this instrument is a lifelong thing. It's a lifelong journey. I've had one since I was about 8 years old, and obviously didn't spend any time on it until the last few years. And I do think that it presents enough challenges and enough joys where it's kind of fun to continue to do, but it's also always going to be so challenging. You get this deep, beautiful resonance out of it, but you also are getting sort of this, well, I'm going to fight you a little bit, right? And so you're like, okay, I can think about that seems simple, and then I can think about this, and it seems simple, but you put the two together, and man, it's not anywhere near simple. And so just know that it is one of these instruments where you're always going to be fiddling with it. You think about a piano, it's really just 88 buttons you push down. Okay, it's a lifelong process learning how to run even a portion of all those buttons as you're pushing them down. And so all of these instruments have their strengths and weaknesses, and guitar has plenty of weaknesses, but it's got a couple of strengths that are amazing. And one of the strengths is that you can get where you're playing pretty nice music without selling the farm. You don't have to devote the amount of time that it takes some guys to get really good. On the other hand, if you devote that time, you will be rarefied air among some pretty nice and pretty elite players, right? It is what Vicky says, hard but so worth it. It's hard. Some days it's worth it, some days it's not. Okay, let's play the tough. Okay, let's put everything together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I blew it. Sorry, guys. Oh, there's not a chord there. Oh, let me start from that page again. Sorry, I blew it. 1, 2, ready, play. To the top. One of the things you notice is the song is fairly playable in A and a whole lot harder in C, and that's because the instrument. On a piano, that's definitely easier to play in C than in A. But on guitar, because of the tuning of the instrument, it likes to play in D, A, E. Okay, and so those are its sort of native keys that it likes to play in. C is the piano one, not quite as easy on guitar as we want it to be. Of the two, the C-G version is much harder than the A-E version. All right, hopefully that's coming together for you. Whatever level you're working at is perfectly fine. And let's go into level 3. We're playing Jeanie with the light brown hair. And guys, we'll be going through these fast every day. Obviously, if you have questions, don't hesitate to use the chat box, right? And if you're not logged in, you can't use the chat box, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to, but feel free to send me an email if something is perplexing, okay? I'm going to start at measure 5. We're going to sing through it one time just so we can remember how it goes. Some of you weren't here yesterday. Okay, so grab your G chord to get started. Okay, and we'll just play through from 5 on. Once you're at level 3 playing, I sort of expect that the chords that you're going to need to have are going to be there for you, and so you've taken a minute to read through the chords and figure out where your problems are going to be. My problems are always C chord. C chord is not my friend, and so for sure, when every time a C chord comes along, I'm going to be doing, struggling to make sure I get it on there. And then, of course, B minor is also in here, so just make sure you know that's coming up. I think the rest of these chords are all pretty easy to get along with, and So let me sing through it real quick, make sure we know how it goes, and then we'll get into the instrumental section. 1, 2, 3. I dream of Jeanie with light brown hair, born like a vapor on the summer air. I see her tripping where the bright streams play, happy as the daisies that dance on her way. Many were the wild notes her merry voice would pour, many were the blithe birds that wore them. I dream of Jeanie with a light brown hair, floating like a vapor on the soft summer air. 2, 3, and then you'll go back and do it twice. Okay, obviously that's that key that I'm not capable of singing in. I'm not capable of singing in any key, but certainly not this song in that key. But at least I like to sing through them a little bit, just to make sure I have a general sense of how things are going to flow for me. So I'm always singing through a song, no matter how horrible it sounds coming out of my face, just so my hands are like, okay, then when that comes, that happens, and then this is going to happen. Fastest way to get through the chord arrangement is just to sing through it, I think, and see where your problems are going to be. I was able to hit every single chord, so I feel pretty good about that. All right, let's go through the melody. The melody for the intro there, the first 4 measures, is identical to the main melody. It's just a repeat of the intro, so we'll skip that. Again, starting at measure 5, we have a pickup note to measure 5, so it's I dream. So I'm going to count in 3. Have a little sniff, and then we'll start with the 0, and then dream of Jeanie with a light brown hair. So let's play the melody. And again, the purpose of playing melody is to get you comfortable so you can play chord melody. At level 3, you're probably comfortable with that already. So why would you continue to worry about playing the straight line melody? Well, you asked Jimmy Page that. After all of these years, are you still playing lead guitar, one note at a time? Because it works. And so especially if you ever end up playing with other people, being able to play melody makes you the lead guitarist. It makes you the cool one in the room. Okay, and it's always a great idea to be able to play both. Of course, you want to play chords, you want to play the straight line melody. If you have the two, you're much more likely to be asked to play melody, because most guitarists can do okay with their chords, but playing melody isn't necessarily their first strength. They usually sing in order to get their melody, and so if you've got skills playing melody, you suddenly become the lead guitarist, and that's who you want to be. Okay, from the top, 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, oh, 2, oh, 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 2, oh, oh, 2, oh, 3, oh, 3, oh, 2, oh, 2, oh, 3, oh, 1, oh, 2, oh, 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 2, oh, 2, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, oh, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, oh, 2, oh, 2, oh, 2, oh, 4, 4, oh, oh, 3, 3, oh, 3, oh, 3, 3, oh, 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, oh, oh, 3, oh, 1, oh, 2, oh, 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 2, oh, 2, oh, 3, oh, 3, oh, oh, 2, oh, oh, 2, oh. And then we would repeat the song a second time. Okay? Really pretty melody. Lots and lots of things to think about and then talk about. Look at measure 11 very quickly. Measure 11 has that run, happy as the daisies that dance on her way. One of the things you can do as a musician, and when you see rising action like that, we also usually put in more energy and more volume. So just as I did when we were doing it here, is you start happy as of energy into that, make it a forte moment as that rising action happens, and then bring it back down. And it creates a sense of motion and a sense of passion in your playing, even though it's sort of fake. Audiences relate with, and your guitar will be like, oh yeah, we got rising action. We're going to play it a little bit faster and a little more energy, maybe not faster, but a little more urgently and a lot more volume to it. And you see the same thing happen in measure 19. Floating like a vapor on the soft summer air. So we're going to pull up floating like a vapor. And so when you're playing that, you would want to play. Right, so bring it and then bring it back down. So that's falling action, generally speaking. Play it a little quieter. All right, now we put it together. We play from the very top. First four measures are a repeat of measures 5 through 8, so there's nothing new to learn there. I have all this stuff down here by my feet, making it hard to do my job. Let's go through it slow. Let's not go through it. Let's just play through it as written. Let's just play through it twice. Nice and slow. Be patient with yourself. If you misses something along the way, that's what we do as musicians. We miss things. Okay, and you jump up a couple of measures, jump in, be ready for us when we get there. Okay, we'll play through the as written. We'll do the repeats. Remember that when you come back from the end of the song and you come back to do the repeat, you come to number 5, not to number 1. 1, 2, 3. Measure 3. Measure 5. Sorry. Here we go to the top. Measure 5, go. Measure 7. some part of me that thinks every single time I turn the page, something tragic is going to happen. So I get in this mental uh, block about turning pages. And major 16 is an E minor there, right? It's one of the, it shows up a few times in the song, but it's surprising that it shows up there. And so I have this tendency to blow it on this song. So I'm going to be fine tomorrow. All right. Last piece of music we got for the day. What time is it? Oh, 3:08. We're doing fine. All right. We're going to do, we're going to go in and do Lean on Me. So hopefully all of you guys have that copy. Lean on Me, the Tough Line. I do have a fingerstyle version of it that Christy put together, and it's all just one note at a time that just continue. Mostly, there's a couple of chords in there, but for the most part, so if you'd rather play it that way, you can. I think the tough version that she's given us is really, really fine piece of music. So I would say if you have the choice and you're playing solo, that you may be better off playing this, the tough line. And so that's what I've been sending out to you guys. I lose my place when I turn pages. Oh gosh, Vicky's point is important, right? If you're in an orchestra and you are sitting two violins side by side, the probably you, the one who's the less good violinist, it's their job to turn the page, right? So that the main violinist doesn't have to do any of that. And so there's this point where the page turn's coming. You have a buddy, and that's their job. If you're a pianist and you're playing from paper and it's complex, they got somebody there who will turn the page for you. In guitar, they don't have that person. And so you have a couple of choices with, if you're going to be a guitarist and you're going to play multi-page things. One is to memorize the entire song. That's the ideal. Most songs are not worth memorizing. I know that I'm speaking sacrilege here, but most songs suck or are a little better than suck, but they're not, there's a few songs that are awesome, but not necessarily memorizable. So think about whether that's an approach for you. The other thing then is that the basic skill set of, hey, if I'm going to have a page turn coming and I know something stupid's on the next page, make yourself some notes on the previous page. Hey, you got this E minor coming up, which is what I will do on Jeanie with the light brown hair on at the end of page 2 and say E minor, and then draw an arrow. That's coming up next, right? That way when I reach up, turn the page, and then get my things here. Generally speaking, turning the pages for us is when you're at home, you just stop and turn the page, right? And then you get started again. But when you come here, and again, another reason to show up is that hopefully, I've got a fancy little electronic gizmo with a flip pedal, right? So hopefully I'm having a little less trouble switching pages than you. But even still, that you reach up, turn the page, you've missed a measure, jump back in. That actually is far more valuable than you'd ever believe in terms of when I look at newer players, when they get lost, they just give up, right? With those of you that are a little more skilled, been around a little longer, hey, there's no point in giving up because the music's going to keep going and you'll just be sitting there like a weirdo. So when you turn the page, miss a few measures, get ready, and then jump back in. That, I think, is probably the most important skill that you can take on as a musician in terms of just survival tactics of hey, the timeline keeps moving forward. Yeah, you're missing a measure. You're missing two measures. You blew a chord. You messed something up. Don't sit and fret about it. Just find out where it's coming up next and jump right in there. It's a super important skill. This is where you practice that, right? This is why we practice it, so we can mess up. Most important, I was working with a ballet company one time, and I was running sound for them, and I completely blew it. And I was just devastated that I had messed up their rehearsal. And their director's like, well, this is why we have practice. Get it out here. Get it out in the mess up now so that we don't mess up there. And I think it's the most valuable one-liner I ever heard. That's why we practice. That's why we have rehearsals, right? Is so we can mess up here. So be okay with messing up your page turns. You mess it up, jump back in, but still show up, because at home you stop, you turn the page, you don't miss anything. When you get playing with other people, that's when it gets more interesting. All right, Lean on Me. Yesterday I talked about it. I am playing this in this manner. I am playing it thumb down through page 2. At the bottom of page 2, I'm switching to a claw position. I'm playing that claw position through the end of measure 32. Christy has even gone through and notated it for me. So you will, I'm going through claw, then I'm going back to strum from 33 to 41. Okay, so that's the first time through. I'm going to do thumb, claw, thumb. Then when I go back to the top of the thing, I'm going to play claw all the way through down through 32, and then I'm going to finish up with my thumb. Okay, so that way I've got a chance to play both ways. There's no magical secret reason why I did that. I just want to practice both thumbs and claw, and I thought that arrangement seemed to make the music make the most sense. So again, and hopefully you are working on both of these things too. Sometimes thumb. All of the music I write, I wanted to work with thumb down because that's how I like to teach. I think that makes your guitar sound absolutely beautiful if you can play a thumb down. But I don't want you to stick with thumb down. I definitely want you to also be practicing your claw and figuring out how to make that work for you as well. Both of those are very, very valuable skills, and we want to be able to do both. Okay, so let's take it from the top. And fingerstyle, always start with the G, the chord, okay, and see how far it gets you. I'm going to do thumb right now, and then I'll come back and do claw in a little while. Okay, from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Page 1, give you a second to get there. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. How'd you do? That's a lot of music right there in a short amount of space, right? And so what we're trying to do is, it's nice that it's fairly repetitive. It's nice that the chords are not overly complex. You can end up with a real pretty piece of music. And then, so really the only significant change, especially at this level 4 is pretty, whatever it is really about how well can you get this hand to be clean and neat and pretty, and kind of finding your way through telling the story on the song. And it's a lot, right? But it does sound good. I think the only thing that I have changed in measure 10, I think there's a typo. And so if you haven't written that down yet, measure 10, instead of what was written 0302, I've written it as 0320, and I've got the 3 is the 0 and the 3, measure 10, there's a chord. That's fine. Then the 0 is fine, and then the 3 is fine. But I'm putting 2-0 on the second string. I think those are typos. So it's 3-2-0 all on the second string at the end of 10. Other than that, everything else in this piece of music is really my own personal interpretations of stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, do I want to, how do I want to do it? What do I want to do with it? How am I going to get this up to a point where I could take it to the coffee shop and really, bedazzle the thing and make people think that I'm all that, and people will bring me cappuccinos. I guess I should mention there is an official typo in measure 22. There's a slur there. No one can fill those of your needs. That's what's there, but it doesn't sound right on guitar. So I would, at measure 22, the second note, that 0 on the first string, just cross it out. You don't need it. And I think you've got a decent piece of music there. I ended up just strumming D chord through the end, and what Vicky's saying here is not unimportant. Hey, sometimes you're playing along with somebody and you're like, oh, this is getting a little more complex than I'm ready to do. Grab whatever you can. In this case, hey, I'll grab a D chord and I'll just write that out. Songs in D, why not? It's going to be fine. Pele, I came in just in time for Lean on Me, and I managed to play along with you. Pele, so if you're just tuning in and you don't get to spend as much time around me as you should, because you should be here every day no matter what. Pele started with me years ago on ukulele, and she's a fine musician. Plays a lot of guitar. Struggled a little bit initial on because we're doing a little bit different system than she was trained in, but boy, it turned it around, and that is a big deal when you can sit down and play on a guitar this complex level, play with another person. That's so should be one of your goals, is just to be a Pele, right? Be a Pele. Walk in, maybe not the way you've been taught how to play, maybe a little different program, whatever. Try to figure out the program and then find a way to where you can play along with the instructor, or play along, hopefully lead a group doing the same thing at some point. And so that's exciting. Good for you, Pele. That makes me really happy to hear that. Okay, couple of thoughts as we're going forward. We're going to be playing these 4 songs every single day, all week. Hopefully that'll give you a chance just to come sit down, play through your 4 songs for the week, and just get really good at the level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. It's good. Try using the bar chord version. And what Arlo is talking about is Arlo is the king of bar chords on this thing, and he will grab every piece of thing that we've written in open position and rethink it and say, hey, would it make more sense to use bar chords here and stuff, and does that a lot. And what's nice about it in our group here locally is that everybody will be playing the same thing, but somehow Arlo sounds a little different because he's got a little different voicing, a little bit different timbre, because he's using the closed chord positions, and that's something as well. As you spend some time around guitar, you start to figure out, for example, this G is, to be honest, this G is stupid. I hate this G with all of my heart. This G, the F chord, that's a much better G. Right? It's a much better G. I'm sorry, that's the A. This is the G. Right? G is here, F is here. This G here is so much easier to hit and sounds so much cooler than this G. So you come to a point where you're like, I'm just going to play that G all of the time. And so I don't do that in my arrangements, because I know bar chords is sort of this place that determines whether you're going to keep going in guitar or quit in the beginning. And so I try to do the least amount possible with bar chords. But Arlo is absolutely right. At the end of your days, And he's having surgery, but he's a long way from the end of his days. Uh, at the end of your time in guitar, you're going to be using more and more and more bar chords until that is your thing, because you're just very powerful and a lot more choices in terms of how to arrange a song that way. So again, I tend to arrange an open position because I know most of you are still in the process of amping yourself up. So, all right, guys, wonderful day today. I'm super excited. I didn't play half bad myself. I could do obviously always do better, but I'm pleased with my result. Again, 30 minutes a day, right? Guess what? We're going to be doing about 40 minutes a day. You come here, you play whatever songs we're playing, you're going to get to be a fine guitar player. And so just keep showing up. Doesn't matter what level you are. If you're way better than me, good for you. Okay, good for you. But learn to play. Hopefully this will, if you're way better than me, don't come around, right? No, I want good players here as well, because they got good ideas. Arlo's coming in and saying, yeah, the bar chords, you should do those are easier. They're not easier, but they do sound better probably. So okay, have a wonderful day, and I will see all of you tomorrow. We will play same 4 songs again, and we're going to keep at it this week till by Friday. You can play whatever song you want in your sleep, or you might have it memorized accidentally. Okay, Arlo, if I don't see you, good luck on your surgery. That's always a little bit nerve-wracking, but you're going to be awesome. And I think is it tomorrow? Can't remember off the top of my head. And Vicky, Pele, good to see you guys. Evelyn, so hopefully you hung in down there. And whoever else is hanging out up here in the widget, glad you guys made it. And please know that these things are always recorded. So if you can't make it to the class and you miss your 30-minute rehearsal practice session, come back later in the day and just sit through the class again. Or if you for the first time, obviously, it's Thursday morning. Okay, that's what I was waiting. Thursday morning. All right, so we got Arlo's. We don't have to worry about it until Thursday morning. Okay. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. Keep playing guitar. It's a good thing. And I will see all of you tomorrow. Ending the stream.